Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's verified investing trade setups in action video. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. Today's date is Thursday, October 10th, 2019. So there's lots of action in the marijuana stocks, the pot stocks today. We saw a warning from HEXO Corp, which is a Canadian marijuana producer, basically lower revenue, lower earnings expected, and obviously you can see down 23% on the day. Now, a lot of people are wondering, what the heck is going on here with this industry? I actually think it's an opportunity here. I'm seeing a lot of chart signals that are telling me not only on the HEXO chart, but on the TLRY chart and other charts that there is a lot of positive technical levels down here. So we'll start right on the HEXO chart here, folks. And what you can see here is I have dual trend lines converging. There's a gap fill here going back to April 2018, and we finally filled that gap today. And if you know anything about technicals and you know what I say gaps are meant to be filled. I don't care if it's a gap to the upside or a downside. At some point, it's going to get filled. So it's better to do it and get it over with, then you don't have to worry about it. So in this situation, it did fill it today. It pierced the gap and then bounced back. And you can see it's actually bouncing back above the gap fill. That's technical strength there. That's accumulation. In addition, you have this trend line. So if you take this pivot low, connect it to this pivot low, look at what it converges at, right to that low as well. So this chart, while you could see some chop over the next few days, it's very possible this was the final flush out. Look at the volume today. The volume, we still got, about an hour and a half left in the trading day, and the volume is humongous on this stock. So what we also call that is potential capitulation volume. Another Canadian marijuana player is TLRY, and if we bring up the TLRY chart, you can see it has had quite the drop as well today, down about 12.5%, down $3 on the day. Now, looking at this chart, it looks ugly, right? But then if you zoom out, or if you go to the weekly chart, I want to show you the weekly chart here. This is where things get interesting. So if you go back to 2018, the all-time lows on this chart are basically between 20 and 21. Well, what price is it? 20.95. So if you put a trend line in right around these lows here, look at that. You're right down into that level right now. So again, this isn't the end all be all, but as a technician, a technical trader, these are the things we look for. In addition, I think it's important, there's so many investors that get so emotional over things. And when you get emotional, you tend to miss things because you're driven by emotion. I want you to think about this. So in a recession, does alcohol see a reduction, or do people just drink as much, maybe more? The answer is they drink equal, if not more, right? I mean, that's just the nature of it. You've seen it in all recessions. Generally, people drink beer and hard liquor. It's not something they cut back on. They need to relax. They need to forget about the issues. So, in respect to that, if at some point we know we're going into a recession, ask yourself this. Do you think people will smoke less marijuana, or do you think that the craze of CBD products or THC products are going to go sharply lower? The answer I would dare say is no. I think demand will stay pretty steady. So in many ways, you have stocks here that are trading at all-time lows or at 52-week lows that are protective potentially against a recession. In addition, there's another factor here that I like, and that's the possibility of a Democratic president. So whether or not you're Democrat or Republican, you can't deny the fact that the Democrats are much more likely to allow marijuana to be federally legal in the United States versus Republicans. Okay, so thinking that way, if potentially it looks like a Democrat wins next year, then these stocks would be no. I mean, they'll probably start to rally even if the polls ahead of time by June or July of next year, if the polls are even suggesting that it could be a Democrat, just on that alone. And one thing that shows this is that the House passed the Safe Banking Act I don't know, it was a couple weeks ago. And the Safe Banking Act, by the way, the House is controlled by the Democrats. The Safe Banking Act basically said it was okay for banks to do business with marijuana growers and producers and so forth. Now, obviously, that measure failed in the Senate because that's controlled by Republicans, but it just goes to show you that if a Democratic president gets in there, it's much more likely that those banking rules will be adjusted as well, which would be a humongous positive for the marijuana producers. So these are all possibilities. And again, it's I've made my living, I've made my fortune looking at stocks that are overbought or oversold to the extreme and figuring out at what point they're going to turn. And while I still think TLRY could go down to as low as 20 or in the high 19s, I think your risk reward down here gets very, very interesting. Same thing for HEXO, same thing for CGC. If we bring up CGC, look at CGC creeping towards the 200 moving average. I mean, that's getting real close to the 200 on the weekly chart, the low pivot right there. That's very, very interesting on a technical basis. That's at $19.25. So it could go, again, another dollar, $1.25, $1.30 lower, but you're getting right into that range. And also, if you look at Aurora Cannabis, same thing here. You're piercing this low, and this was prior support, but then look at this gap fill that's waiting. I mean, look at that. I mean, see, this is the stuff I live for, folks. All right, we can even leave that trend line. It's not important. But the point is, look at that trend line. Look at the gap fill on the weekly right there. That's where this is going. And it's actually not that much lower. It's actually down at $3.65. So 365, which is only about 15 cents away here, that is going to be an epic level for Aurora Cannabis. So my point is this: things can look scary, but it actually breeds the best opportunities you're ever going to get, in my opinion. Watch the technical levels; those are going to be your signals. I did pick up some more TLRY today, below right in this 21 range. All right. Will I look to buy ACB? Yes, I will at that next level. Will I potentially buy some HEXO? Maybe I will. The point is that if you just let the emotion go away, this is where opportunity arises and where the biggest profits are made by always those that step up at the right level at the lows on a stock before it bounces. There's a lot of people that chase moves. People that are buying Apple, for instance, up here at 229. To be honest, I can't do it. I don't care if it's going to go to 230, 240, whatever. The risk of something going wrong when a stock is near its all-time highs is too great for me. I like opportunity. I like things on sale. And that's a great educational point here, is that the best investors of the world look to buy stocks on sale, not at highs. Chasers are what buy things at highs. I don't do that. All right. I analyze the charts and come to a level where it's going to be a good buy, and that's where I act. So, bottom line is, folks, this is what we do here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. I have two services, one for swing trading and one for options. Verified Investing is for swing traders of stocks. If you want that, join me there. You'll get my live alerts, my exact entry, my exact stop and targets, my exact position size percentage wise. Since everyone has different size accounts, I give out my percentage that I'm investing in it of my account. And again, same thing in verified options alerts is the other service. That's for options traders. If you want option alerts, same thing. I give out my exact entry price, the strike, the expiration, the target, etc. Everything instantly as soon as the trade is entered by me goes out to you guys, and you can basically join me. You have that choice. You can join me or not. But the point is, if you look at our track record, my track record on those 2 pages that's verified, you will see the results clearly. All right, bottom line, thanks for listening, guys. I hope it made some sense. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you with me in verified investing or verified options. Take care.